She took the house in the divorce. Then, as if that wasn't enough, she came back for my lottery winnings. I let my lawyer do the talking. Hello, Reddit. Have you ever watched those documentaries about lottery winners who hit it big, only to end up broke, divorced, and living in a van a couple of years later? Well, this story is almost one of those, but with a twist. Let me start from the beginning. My name's Caleb. I'm 41, live in Ohio, and work in logistics. Nothing glamorous, just an ordinary guy leading an ordinary life. Or, I did, until everything fell apart about 7 years ago. I married Melanie. On paper, we looked like a perfect match. She was stunning, funny, charismatic, and had that way of winning people over, could sell sand in the desert kind of charm. As for me, I was the quiet type, content with grilling on Sundays, watching football, and avoiding drama. But Melanie thrived on chaos, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. It started small. She began putting everything in her name, the house, the car, even the Costco membership, saying it was just for convenience. I didn't question it. Fast forward 5 years, and suddenly I'm sleeping in the guest room because she needed space. That was when the credit card debt started piling up. I had no idea about the $24,000 spent on spa days, expensive handbags, and a secret girls' trip to Cabo. I only found out when the bank called, asking why my name was tied to missed payments. When I confronted her, her response was that I was too boring, and that I should be grateful someone like her had married me. Then came the bombshell. She filed for divorce, claiming emotional neglect and financial instability. Me, the guy working 60-hour weeks to keep her comfortable. Unreal. Here's where it gets truly unfair. Because everything was in her name, and Ohio follows an inequitable distribution model for divorce, she walked away with the house I'd put the down payment on, the SUV I bought her for our anniversary, and half of my retirement savings. All I got was my clothes, my PS5, and a barbecue grill. The divorce was finalized in February. By June, I was living in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment above a dry cleaner, eating microwaved ramen and frozen burritos, wondering if life could get any worse. And then, it didn't just get better, it got wild. On July 3rd, I stopped at a gas station for some Gatorade and decided to buy a scratch-off ticket. I bought 2. One was a dud, the other, $6.2 million. I stared at the ticket for what felt like forever, thinking it had to be a mistake. I called my buddy Kyle, and he thought I was high. I wasn't. I was just suddenly a millionaire, dealing with trust issues and a broken spirit. I didn't tell anyone else. I cashed in the ticket anonymously through a lawyer, set up a trust, and took the lump sum after taxes, which left me with just over $4 million. It wasn't enough to buy a yacht, but it was more than enough to never eat ramen again. The first thing I did? Nothing. I didn't buy a sports car, I didn't post it online, and I didn't even upgrade my phone. I just met with a lawyer, made some smart investments, paid off my truck, and kept a low profile. That peace lasted exactly 3 weeks. Then came Melanie, out of nowhere. I got a text from her, "Hey stranger, just wanted to see how you're doing. Want to grab coffee sometime?" I stared at the message like it was a rattlesnake. 2 things stood out. 1, she'd never used emojis when we were married. And 2, she hadn't checked on me once since the divorce. I didn't reply. 2 days later, I got another message, "I heard a rumor. Hope it's not true, but if it is, maybe we should talk." That made my stomach drop. I hadn't told anyone about the lottery win, except for Kyle and my lawyer. Turns out, Kyle's girlfriend told her cousin, who told her hairdresser, and the hairdresser just happened to do Melanie's highlights. Classic small-town gossip. I still didn't respond. Instead, I screenshot the messages and sent them to my lawyer. Paula, by the way, is a savage. She's got the patience of a saint, but the spine of titanium. But Melanie didn't stop there. She escalated. She showed up at my job to check in, left a basket of muffins at my apartment door, and left voicemails crying about second chances and how life was too short to hold grudges. Then came the real kicker. She filed a motion with the court, claiming that our divorce settlement was unfair because she claimed that I had intentionally hidden assets during our divorce proceedings. Let that sink in for a moment. Melanie argued that I purposely kept the lottery winnings secret, even though I won after the divorce was finalized. I didn't even need to attend court. Paula, my lawyer, handled everything. When Paula walked into that courtroom, she came prepared. She brought piles of evidence, timestamps, transaction records, tax receipts, and even a statement from the Lottery Commission showing the exact date and time I had won. The case was airtight. Melanie's lawyer tried to argue that I must have known I was going to win, and that I should have disclosed it. The judge actually laughed at him and dismissed the motion with prejudice, meaning Melanie couldn't bring it up again. Melanie stormed out of the courtroom. I heard she yelled at her lawyer, slammed her purse on the ground, and cried in the parking lot for a good 40 minutes. I didn't stick around to watch. I was at home, sitting on my balcony, sipping a beer. That was what peace felt like, victory. Now, I live in a simple lake house with a screened-in porch and a dock where I spend my weekends fishing. I help fund a local animal shelter, I travel now and then, nothing extravagant, just quiet trips to places where no one knows me. Melanie, well, she's now dating some guy who peddles cryptocurrency on Instagram. Good luck to him. As for me, I have no regrets. Not even about the marriage. It taught me everything I needed to know about protecting my peace, making wise choices, and letting my lawyer handle the tough stuff. A month after the court shut down her motion, I thought it was all over. Finished. But Melanie is like a cockroach with Wi-Fi. She finds a way to stay in your life when you least expect it. One crisp October morning, I was sipping my coffee and watching ducks argue on the lake when I heard a knock at my door. It wasn't the usual Amazon delivery or my neighbor Joe asking for jumper cables again. No, this time it was Melanie's mom, dressed in pearls and holding a tray of banana bread like she was offering a peace treaty. "Caleb, sweetheart," she said in that syrupy tone. "Melanie's been struggling. She's not herself. Sure, she made mistakes, but who hasn't? Maybe you could help her get back on her feet." I stood there for a moment, staring at this woman like she had just asked me to donate a kidney to someone who keyed my car. "You mean the same Melanie who took my house and tried to sue me for my lottery winnings?" I asked. Her smile faltered, and she got all emotional. You know how women can get when they're scared. She tried that angle on me. I didn't even respond. I just said, "Tell Melanie I said hi and goodbye," and closed the door. She left the banana bread on my porch, which I gave to my neighbor's dog. 3 days later, Melanie herself emailed me. She must have been really desperate to go full boomer and send an email. It was a long, rambling message, filled with lines like, "I never stopped loving you. We were supposed to build a life together. We were just under so much stress. The house meant nothing without you. Money can't buy happiness, but maybe it can buy us a second chance." I forwarded it to Paula, just in case Melanie tried anything dumb. Then, brace yourself, because this is where it gets good, she went public. I was scrolling through Facebook one night when I saw it, a post on her timeline set to public, complete with a perfectly staged selfie of her looking sad on a park bench. The caption read, "Some people win the lottery and lose their soul." Not naming names, but wow, just wow. The comment section turned into a battleground. Half of her friends were all like, "You deserve better, girl," while the other half, the ones who knew the real story, tore her apart. One guy commented, "You took his house, sued him for his winnings, and now you're playing the victim? Sit down." Another woman posted a gif of popcorn. It was glorious. Just when I thought the drama was over, Melanie played her final card. She showed up at my job. I work in a distribution warehouse, a place full of forklifts, steel toe boots, and no-nonsense guys. One of my coworkers came up to me and said, Caleb, some chick at the front office says she's your wife." Wife, not ex-wife. I walked up there, and boom, there she was, looking like she was about to hit the red carpet. Full glam, push-up bra, heels, fake tears. "Caleb," she said loudly enough for the receptionist to hear, "please just hear me out. I made a mistake. I should never have left you. Now, I don't like scenes. I'm not that guy. But I was done." I calmly said, "Melanie, this is harassment. You need to leave right now, or I'm calling the cops." She looked at me like I'd slapped her. "You wouldn't call the cops on me," she whispered. "Oh, I won't," I replied, "but my lawyer would love the paperwork." She left, and that was the last time I saw her in person. Now, you're probably wondering what I've done with the money. Well, let me tell you, it's not all lumbos and champagne. I kept my job, just part-time now, enough to stay grounded. I bought my mom a small house closer to her sisters, so they can gossip in person instead of on the phone all day. I set up a college fund for my niece. I travel, I fish, and I spend a lot of time sitting on my porch watching the world go by. I've been trying to learn guitar, not very well, and I donate to causes that matter to me. Most importantly, I take naps in the middle of the day just because I can. Sometimes, peace looks like a quiet morning with no emails from your ex. Other times, it's knowing you could destroy someone legally, but choosing not to because your lawyer already did it better.